Welcome everybody. Today we're going to rate the fusion monsters, like the big ones, not the small ones. From worst to best in all content, not for beginners, like for mid-game. Like at the beginning, the fusion monster might be more valuable that later in the game they are not really that much valuable. So we are looking into the categories dungeons. When we're talking about dungeons, we are talking about giants, dragons, Necropolis, Punisher script, and the other ones. Let me show you which one we are exact talking because somebody like to say, then we got the Spiritual Realm and the Steel Fortress. We've been looking also at the Abyssal stage as separated, but we are not going into details. I'm just saying what the rating. We are rating them from all the areas from 1 to 10. And they will have a total score. So this is one area is dungeon. The other area is raid. Raid is just the R5. So in the middle, we have the R5. That's a own rating area from 1 to 10 as well. Then we got the Rift Beast out of 4, 5 element beasts as well from 1 to 10. We're going to rate the monster. Then we got the Dimensional Hole. Dimensional Hole, I take everything in the Dimensional Hole, all the dimension and the dimension rate. I could have done the dimension separate, but no. And the dimensional thingy that always pop up is not rated. Where you defeat a boss in that boss stage. I forgot what it's called. Okay. Then we have TOA. With TOA, we're going to look into TOA normal, hard, and hell. And all these ratings is like if we look at that monster, we are not going to say it's going to be decent. It's like, is that unit actually used? Is it good? Because a lot of the rating, like normal, if you play in the normal 2-way, you're not going to play a Xiongfei because he has some cleansing. No, you're going to use a speed cleaving team. So what is actually good? And then we have PvP guild battle, we are not talking about the guild rival, it's PvE. We are talking about World Guild Battle and Guild Siege. Then we got Lab, the Labyrinth. Of course, there we have different kind. We have the bosses, each of the bosses. Then we got the normal stage, the rescue stage, the explosion stage, the cooldown stage, speed time, a limit stage, and the time limit stage. All of them, we give them a total rating from 1 to 10 as well. Then we got the arena, the normal arena, the one you don't play against a real-time player. Oh, I forgot to put the inter-server battle into this rating, but it's going to be similar like arena. So let's keep it in the arena. And then last not but least, we got the world arena. There we don't have the 2v2 in just the normal world arena. We could have put 2v2 into this as well and could put inter-server, so we could have a rating out of 100, but we have a rating out of 80. So yeah, starting with the last place with a rating from 33, we got Katarina. 33 out of 80, it's under 50%. So Katarina, let me actually pick my Katarina from here. Katarina is the worst fusion monster because she is very unique. If we look through the dungeon, I gave you only a rating of 1. All this rating is not from a pool or something, just my, like I gave them what I think I would give them. It's just all my opinion, and if you have a different opinion, you're free to have your different opinion. It's just my opinion. So for dungeon, I gave a rating out of 1 because, you could maybe use it in giants, but if you look at the view of a mid-game player, who is ever going to run Katarina? Katarina, she needs invincibility to make her skill 3 even have a use, and AI. She might have invincibility, but not use the skill tree, and get out of the skill tree and use the sword of discharge, and it's going to be a waste. It's too much RNG around the skill. So most of the what you call it, most of the content where you can control most, only one of them, she's actually very good. uh she's I give her a better rating. Okay, so for dungeons, giants, no. Dragons, forget about it. Element disadvantage. Necro, she needs multi-hits. Spiritual realm, yeah, let's forget about the other ones. Okay, and this one, Hall of Magic, all of this, we don't rate them. Okay, we don't rate them in this rating. Rate, she's been used in the Speed Katarina comp where you just one-shot the boss with Katarina. So I had to give her 10 for just the speed team with her. We had to give her the rating 10. We can't go lower. It's a speed team. Mid players use them. High-end players use them. So for this content, I gave her 10 points. For the Rift Dungeons, I gave her 5. She can maybe be used for some Rift Dungeon teams, but she's like pretty much RNG. You can use her for the Light Beast, maybe. Yeah, maybe if you use a Chloe with a combination, maybe. So 5 points I give her here, but or maybe you can use her, but invincibility needs to be in her asset because there's nobody going to die on the stage. So there are a lot of invincibility, not lots. There's some invincibility monsters out there can be paired up with Chloe, but like I said, it's RNG. And yeah, I gave her a decent 5. For the dungeon part, I gave her 1. It was very terrible. Okay. For the dimension hole, same. Like, I'll give 3 and continue to the next. TOA, I gave her only 1 again because there are more than 3 monsters on the field. There are 5 monsters on the field every time. So for TOA, normal, you want to go fast. She's taking too much time with her animation, and she could also sometimes hit one monster with all her discharge. So no, it's wasting time. And to a Heart and Hell, I wouldn't even recommend using her. So 1 point. For Guild Battle, I gave her 4 points. Yeah, I know her discharge goes 4 times, I think. There are only limited monsters on the field, so she could be maybe useful, but some defenses you can use her, but if you're unlucky, she kills only 1 monster, or you hit that monster that can't be killed, and yeah, you are effed up. So the same goes for Lab. She can be reliable, and most of the lab stages has more than 1 monsters. Maybe in the boss stages you can use her, but it's RNG. You can control, like you can play on like mono the boss stages for the lab stages with Katarina, but there are a lot better monsters out there. So she's not getting more than 3 points over here. And the same goes for Arena with the Guild. There's even 1 monster more into this in the normal arena. So yeah, Katarina, I gave her 3 points, and for RTA 3 points as well. I'm not going to repeat myself why Katarina is unreliable. So overall 33 points. Moving on to the next monster. So on second last, we got Gapsu. You would think, what? Gapsu? He's a really good unit. Yeah. I'm going to make the rating shorter. Okay. So we're going to look only at the most important one and talking about what is general bad. Else the video is going to be too long. Okay. Gapsu, overall 34 points. Just a little bit better than Katarina. What are the points where he's shining? I would say in the guild PvP, like Guild Siege. There he can be used to counter some specific teams. So he could be there very good. The same goes for RTA. You can be used in some teams where you can pick him and he can make some game changes. But if you pick him in the wrong teams, of course you're going to lose. Therefore, in the guild, every PvE content, guilds, what guild? Dungeon, raid, rift dungeon, dimension hole, lab. I mean, lab, he does not shine much. Okay, when we look at the Gapsu, he has some healing-ish ability here with his passive, removes 1 harmful effect with the lowest HP, and heals with 10%, but he cycles himself. Of course, he can do it multiple times. When the enemy heals, he gives himself 10% attack per push, but I feel like this isn't enough. For RTA and the guild content, he's good, but for the other rest of it, He's not shining. But a fusion monster does not need to shine in every content of the game. So if we look really at the PvE content, he will be much higher rating. So long story, short closer. I think the saying is even wrong. Long by short, whatever. He's a PvE unit, a PvP unit. Okay, for PvE content, no, that's why his rating is low. Next, we got Sean, the same thing as Gapsu. Sean is bad. Oh, let's go to Sean. Okay, Sean or John is bad for PvE content. But one different where John got a little bit more points because TOA. In some TOA Hell and TOA Hard teams, you can use John because there you're going to be more controlling. So therefore, John got more points in gaps a little bit over there. And RT, I give her also less points. For guild content, I give similar points. Yeah. So John got 37 points. Only because in TOA, she's more useful than Gapsu. That's why she has more points than Gapsu. Okay. I have her runes on her. Yeah, she's like for the TOA Hell, I had to change her Violent rune to Swift because you don't want to go out of your prayers protection wise, you provoke them. And as you see, the accuracy went high with her. She needs a little bit more HP, whatever. But accuracy is important to her. Speed, decent HP. She's a good unit for PvP content and TOA. Because the 2 turns per provoke is something you want to have if you want to CC your opponent or controller. Next, we got Belegar with 41 points. For Belegar, also isn't, in my opinion, if I rate it, I would have I would have never put Belegar over John. But Belegar is shining in some content where he gets the points. Once with rate, also with the speed, rate teams they'll be using Katarina or Belegar. Or if you build your own team, you have one team with Belegar, you have one team with Katarina, and then you have another team with, I think the Dark Kung Fu Girl or whatever, to one-shot the boss yourself. So that's why I had to give him 10 points for that. He's part of a speed team, so he's been used for the mid and end game. So but that's why where Belegar got his point. He can do some damage with the Dimension Hole. He's been used for the one where I forgot the one. The one comes once in a month for a short time, a period of time, and you get the runes. Unless they have removed that thing. That was limited time. I think they have maybe removed it. I've forgotten. But anyway, he's been used in the Rift Dungeon quite in the Dimensional. Rift Dungeon, not that much. He could be used. He has some good damage. That's what I'm saying. He could be used in the Dark one. He could be used for the Wind one. He has some decent damage. Could be very useful. In the Fire one, I wouldn't recommend. For guild content, there are only 3 monsters, so he is not that unreliable as Katarina, but not much better because he does not ignore defense. But he didn't he destroy the HP as well? Yeah, it destroys enemies max HP with 5 knowledge and steals beneficial effect. So he's doing actually much more than Katarina. So for RTA and Arena offense, if we talk Arena offense and defense, I gave him low rating. He's not doing much, but he got himself 41 points because he's shining in rate and Dimensional Hole. Next up, we got Xiong Fei with 47 out of 80 points. So he's already, like with Belegar, over 50% of the points. Xiong Fei, where does he shine? In rate. Not in the speed team with the big, like if you have your raid team, like if you're not going for the speed cleave, if you use like a 2-minute raid team, he is part of it. He is part of the the raid teams that are not going for speed, just for normal runs, who don't care much of the speed, but he is part of the stables, so Herefore, I'm going to give him 10 points as well. He's stable, okay? And for the Rift Dungeons as well, he can be used against the Dark Beast. He could be used against the Wind one, but it's not the best option. That's why I give that only 7 points. He's being used in 2 out of the 3 Rift Dungeons. For Water, Light, and Fire, I wouldn't recommend him. I think I use him even in my Fire because he has the cleansing, so he can remove the stuns. So yeah. For 2A, 1 point. He's not usable in 2A. What do you want to use him? For 2A normal, you're going to want to cleave that all the waves to your normal. 2A hard and hell. You don't want any cleansing because either you want immunity or you want to control. Xiongfei is not fitting that. Okay, maybe you can put some debuffs with his skill 3 against boss stages especially. That's why I gave him a little bit 4 points, but else he's not doing much. For guild content, he's good, he's decent. Especially as fire tank. And he can cleanse, so he has some usability. For lab, arena, and RTA, I don't think he's that great. So 47 points overall. Next we got Sigmarus. Yeah. For PvP content, he is okay-ish, but he got 50 out of 80 points. Okay-ish, but he's too squishy. He's too squishy. He has a lot of attack. He got a freeze, attack power break, another freeze, and a stun. So he has a lot of CC in his skills. And yeah. Sigmarus is in dungeons good, especially giants and dragons. I mean, you could use him in the best floor, but you need to have him well ruined, but he's not getting 10 points. There, he's getting 9. He can be used in the what you call in the normal 10th floor. In the Abyssal stage, he could maybe work because he's also doing damage to according to their max HP like Veromos, so he could be shining. He puts the attack power break on them as well, so he's doing something. For the raid, it's okay, but raid I give it 6 points. You can't stun anything, so he has only attack power break and great damage, 6 points. The same goes for the Rift Dungeon. Great damage, attack power break. Yeah. 2OA, I give 5 points because actually I could have given you 6 points. He has a CC, he has attack power break, but only one of the attack is AoE, the rest is single target. That's why I give 5 points. That's why I give 5 points. Guild content, I give also 5 points. Yes, some CC if you remove the beneficial effect from the opponent. If you then you can use Sigmarus, but like I said, there's a lot more better things out there. So 5 points comparing to the what's out there. Okay, Lab 6 points. Yeah, he's doing decent. Like I already said, I'm going to only repeat what I already said. Arena and RTA, give them both 4 points. It's alright. There's better things out there. Now coming to the second place. Sigmarus was third place. Second place. What do you guess? Who's gonna be with 67 points? 67 points. 13 points away from the maximum. It's going to be Riley. You thought it's going to be Veromos? No, it's Riley. Riley is a very, very annoying unit in PvP. It doesn't matter if it's guild battle. It doesn't matter if it's arena. In our RTA as well, she is annoying with her healing, with her cleansing, with her immunity, with her healing. Because when you hit the Riley multiple times, even if you don't hit her multiple times, sometimes she has another skill ready. She's very annoying, can be used in so many PvP areas. She's not getting all the points, but let's go through it. For dungeon, I gave her 5 points. She can be used for a safe team, but it's mostly you're not going to use her. Mostly you're going to use Belladion or something else in a safe team, or Shannon with something with defense buff. For raid, I give her 7 points. Like I said, with the raid team where she is with Xiongfei, you could use her for when you're not going for the speed team. For Rift Dungeons, same. 8 points. You can use her for the wind rift beast. You can use her for the light rift beast. You can use her for the... Okay, not for the water rift beast because you want one with attack power push. But for the dark, you could use her, but she has only one single target hit. You could use her, but it's not the best one to use. And for the fire one, I wouldn't recommend her because she's the weaker element. But she gives immunity, so she could protect from you getting stunned from the fire rift beast. Dimensional, I give her 8. She's a versatile unit. She's a healer that can be slapped on everywhere. 2A as well. She could be used into a normal, not really, but in hard and hell. Not every hell team, but some hell team you could put her in, but there are other healers out there. So 7 for guild content. I don't need to say anything. She is rocking the guild content. With her healings, she's rocking it. 10 points. She's so annoying, especially in defense. Sometimes you be killing anything, and then the Riley will be sitting there with you another 5 minutes trying to kill her because you brought the wrong unit into this. Or even if you brought the right unit, she has high resistance. Does she weaken the resistance? Yes, she does. Yes, she does. So most Riley out there have higher resistance, so she can be defense broken and she'll be surviving. In lab content, she could be also, slapped against the boss stages. Yeah, and the RTA, you already know. People pick her and she's annoying. Most of the time, she's the sole survivor and healing out everything. For Momo Arena, I give only 6 points because for Arena offense, you're not going to use Riley. Arena defense, some people might use her just to get them annoying. Like Riley, Camilla, whatever. Or Vanessa, whatever team they're using, it's going to be annoying. With a lot of healing. And last but not least, the first place goes with 70 points to Veromos. The minus really runes, you're going to use different runes than this, okay? So Veromos in dungeons, 100 points. 100 points. I meant 10 points, 100 points. He is rocking the Abyssal Force because even though Sigmarus and him, both of them do the damage, when the enemy can't be stunned, he pushes the attack bar back by 50%. That's a good thing. He does some dots, okay, that's not apply for the Abyssal Force, but he has a healing once he removes beneficial, harmful effects, and he pushes his attack bar. He is the GOAT. For the raids, he's okay side. He might get Oblivion, so for raid I give only 6 points. Rift Dungeons and Dimensional I have 7 points. He could be decent there 2A. In 2A Hell, there's a stage where you start with silence. Without Veromos, you can't do that stage. Yeah, you could, but Veromos is needed. For 2A Hard, you can also use Veromos. He has good stun. He has passive healing. He has control. He has healing. He has quite a lot of stuff. For guild content, you can also use him for offense and defense. Lab can also be used in some stages. Arena, in defense mostly. For offense, I really won't recommend using him. Unless you're playing a bruiser offense team, then you're going to use him. And RTA, in some situation, Veromos fits in. Especially against Gianna or something, you put a Veromos, you get your healing, you remove the bump. Against Sierra, I don't think so, but there's some other teams where Veromos is going to shine. He's like the passive is a smaller version of Juno, but it's actually better because you cleanse your whole team. Juno's just for yourself. But for the usage for new players, Veromos is very good for mid-end game. Riley, very good. Sigmarus, if you aim for PvP content, Sigmarus, no, not really much. Even though he's third place in this. This is just my personal opinion. I just went for the rating, and now I'm going to tell my personal opinion at the end. Xiongfei, yeah, if for raid stuff, you could build a Xiongfei Beliger. Yeah, I think the thing with the Dimensional is the old thing, but I did rate. It's just now the Rift Dimensional rate. So Belliger, no. John, yes. Gapsu, yes. And Katarina, no. So Belliger and Katarina is the only ones I don't recommend. Focus on the others. Good. Riley and Vermos, tops. Anyway, that's going to be the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.